Well, thank you for joining us. Now, we have to tell you how you need to have a soft life because all you need to do is to make a booking from now to the 15th of December 2022. Despite all the hardship, there are good packages by Maha Beach Resort. So they're asking you just to stay for a night and get the second night for free in a standard room with free airport pickups on weekends. So all you need to do is to just pay some 4,200 Ghana cedis for 2 persons. And if you're just a person, like how I'm going to go there single, well, I just have to pay 2,750. And the package all includes meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, free airport pickup service from Friday to Sunday, and 10% discount on spa services, free upgrade from standard rooms to standard spa or sea view room from Monday to Thursday. And all this is subject to availability, as you also, as part of the package, catch a movie, whether in the day or in the night at the cinema. So alongside, you'll be enjoying the swimming pool, gym, snooker boards in the snooker room, and volleyball on the pitch, and then an upgrade of room available on request at a fee. Remember, always terms and conditions are applying. You can contact them on 050-157-0684 or 030-3977-773 for more details and reservations. Well, you can also email the sm@maharesort.com/reservations. As you do that, let's tell you who we have here. We have representing the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, led by the manager for the economic team, the vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and Kamaldeen Abdullah is regular on the show as well as on the channel. He's here. Good morning to you, Kamal.
Good morning, Roland.
Great guy of all sorts. Please, the way we're talking, let's talk like that. Okay. Legal practitioner,
early morning
energy consultant, and we have Kwame Jantwa. He's also
the member of the CPP.
He's also a member of the CPP. I'm told in some circles he's aspiring to lead the CPP.
I'm not aspiring.
Okay, he's not aspiring. Okay, I've redrawn that. He's a member of the CPP. And thank you for joining me.
Roland, how are you?
I'm good. He's not aspiring for anything, just leading the...
Can I give some...
Head of the Director of Political Affairs, CPP.
Can I give...
some shout-outs?
Yeah, shout-outs.
You do that. Let me just introduce Ibrahim Amaliba as well. NDC legal team. You are the one headed the directorate, right? Great, big man. You can even see from his your police cast. Good morning to you as well. Please give the shout out.
Yes, I've been in WA this week.
Oh, what are you doing there?
You know, I'm the chairman of the Ghana Energy Awards.
Great.
And when nominations come in and they tell us what they are doing, we have to go their sites to inspect. So we were on site for VRA, seeing what they're doing. And the hotel I stayed in, Diageo, I think it's called.
Diageo Hotel.
Yes, they are constantly on TV3.
Wow.
Constantly.
Wow.
And also the staff at the airport of Passion, they are also constantly on TV3.
The TV is always on TV3.
It's always on TV3. So I give them a shout out and thanks for your service this time I was in WA.
Yeah, Diageo Hotel as well as Passion. We love them. They have great popular engine planes and they have great fares as well. Yeah, fare rates. Yes. Yeah, and well, come on. What transpired in Parliament yesterday?
Wow.
Your team, that's the majority side, decided to do a turnaround. Yeah. They are telling us that the objectives for which they want the finance minister sacked by the president of the Republic of Ghana, that's the appointee or the appointing authority, are not in sync with what the minority wants.
Well, once again, good morning, and good morning to the cherished viewers, especially the people of the Nantong constituency, wherever they are. I want to say good morning to them, specifically my village, Zor. Good morning to the chief and people of Zor. Lawyer Jantwa, welcome from the north.
Thank you.
Yeah, where you saw the price of maize being around 300 Ghana, 320 Ghana cedis. Or you didn't check on that?
I didn't see
Oh,
that.
you were so busy with the energy issues. Yeah,
issues.
that's fine. And from our brother, he flew up north and came back. He can testify to that in a way. Lawyer Malba, good morning.
Morning.
Oh, why? You are responding with a stern face.
Ah. Why? You know my problems this morning.
Anyway, Roland, thank you so much. I'm happy we are running a democracy that seems to be growing, because I have commended members of parliament on the MPP side for the step they took the last time. It tells us that it's not just about intra-party, but inter-party, but intra-party could also, if you like, present divergent views or present dissenting views on a particular norm. And that, of course, builds our democracy and makes our democracy stronger. In as much as they held the press conference and called or demanded for the for the removal of the finance minister, the minority's position on invoking Article 82 of the Constitution or triggering Article 82 of the Constitution and also some standing orders of theirs to censure the finance minister too, has not been backed by our MPs, like you rightly said. But others have said that, look, it is a deviation or it is a U-turn made from their stance. But I disagree. Roland, two issues. They made a demand, and having made a demand, and also bearing in mind that the appointing authority per the tenets of our Constitution is the President of the Republic of Ghana, in terms of the composition of a cabinet or ministers, as it were, per Article 78. Then they made the appeal to President. President listened to them, invited them to a meeting, and not just them alone. Remember, a political party, per our Constitution again, has the right to sponsor a candidate into Parliament, has the right to also sponsor, if you like, a candidate to run for president. Therefore, there's an interest here. When I say there's an interest, the political party has an interest in the whole issue. Roland, the president, having invited the MPs, invited leadership of our party as well. Then they had a discussion on the press conference held by the MPs. The discussion actually allowed cool heads to prevail. And the president said, look, I am making an appeal or putting an appeal to you. We are in difficult times, currently negotiating with IMF. The finance minister you are asking me to remove is part of the team. We also have by law, okay, to ensure that the fiscal policy for next year is presented before the end of the month of November. My appeal to you is that these two critical issues, let us surmount them, then of course we then look at the way forward. The MPs heeded to the call. The leadership of party were part of it and witnessed it. The president and of course the leadership of party and MPs agreed. The following day, minority indicated, no, we're also going to trigger Article 82 to censure the finance minister. Nobody takes away that. That is why the framers of the Constitution inculcated that in that Constitution. So having said they were going to do that...
press conferences were held on the same day.
I am saying, okay, fine, it was the same day.
Because I was there.
Fine, no problem. So after their press conference, minority also indicated they would do a censure. Now the MPs on the side of our party, I mean the majority here, says no. The grounds on which you are going to trigger this Article 82 is frivolous.
Which are the grounds?
About 4 grounds. First of all, they're talking about a despicable whatever.
There are 7 grounds. When you read,
there were 7 grounds.
The order paper
Ground 1
yesterday.
is what?
Or you don't like 4 of the 7 grounds?
Well, very well. 7 grounds, all of them. But the point is that they have cited issues. One, they spoke about some expenditure emanating from the consolidated fund, which they feel that is unconstitutional. They spoke about the National Cathedral project, which they felt that, of course, monies that has been advanced or pushed forward is unconstitutional. When I looked at that particular provision, I said to myself, wow, they refer to it as President's Cathedral, and not even the National Cathedral. President Cathedral. Is that factual? You see, some of these things, let us put propaganda aside and be factual to ourselves. The project, is it referred to President's Cathedral or National Cathedral?
Is it not the president who made the promise after winning the election?
That doesn't make it a bona fide property of the president.
It is the president's personal promise.
I disagree.
Based on the covenant he has with his God. that if he wins,
he will build a national cathedral.
The 2016 elections, he's going to build a national
So
cathedral.
is he building president cathedral or national cathedral?
He's building his personal
Let's
cathedral.
be fair to ourselves. No, he's not building a personal cathedral. He's building.
We were even told that this
national
cathedral was supposed to be funded by the church and private funds.
They have not departed from it.
Okay.
Not entirely funded by the church, but of
No.
course they
Why
also
are you
ensure.
changing the?
I'm not changing it. You should also. We can all go and look at it. Not entirely funded by the church and private individual. They would make an appeal to private. A chunk portion of it will come from donations, which they are doing. However, the land on which that is going to be built, does it belong to the president? It's not for the state. The land, just the land, take primarily the land. Does the land belong to the president of the Republic of Ghana or it belongs to his auntie? It belongs to the state. And I'm saying that when you set off...
The president decides to make a personal covenant with his God.
Yes.
And decides to use state property.
The president of the Republic
undertake
of...
that personal promise.
No, the president
Are you here justifying
I am, yes, of course. I am sitting here as somebody who is saying that let us use things right. If you call it the president's cathedral, on what grounds? And I'm saying that it is a national cathedral, which it is.
Okay.
And of course, there has been budgets that read and that captured also the budget statement.
So which other items or the reasons don't you like about the 7 pointers? That's the minority race.
I will be more than glad if I wouldn't be allowed to jump the gun. But I think that the entire grounds that they have submitted to me is frivolous.
Okay.
It doesn't warrant the triggering of Article 82, in my view. But of course, there was a ruling yesterday, which ruling showed that there should be fair hearing. And let me commend the MP for my good friend, the Deputy Majority Leader,
Afenyo
Markins. Efutu. Great delivery, great, explanation given to us in terms of that.
The speaker was fair.
Equally, they all did a good job.
Okay.
Afenyo Markins stood firm on procedure and why the finance minister, who they allege have committed certain actions that they think is not proper, hence the censure or the call for his removal. Afenyo Markins said, look, let's give a fair hearing. Let's get that hearing. And I'm happy based on that, the speaker gave a ruling that, look, let us have a committee put in place, committee of very strong people, 8 people, co-chaired by Katie Hammond and Dr. Ayine. They are going to go into the matter, listen to the finance minister. If he has his counsel or lawyers there, they will listen to them, and of course, they will present a report, as it were. But to end with, I think that those grounds are nothing but frivolous. But let me commend my MPs for what they did yesterday. Yes, you can say they backtracked. You can say they actually reneged on their promise to say that we are going to stay off business, but they did not. It is about cohesion, and it's about building a party and building at the majority side solidly. Okay. That is exactly what they did. And let me commend them for that.
Now, that provision is in the Constitution that whoever, as a minister, is going to be censured.
Yeah.
Has to be heard. So it's not as if that Afenyo Markins was making a point.
Oh, no, but he made a point. It's not a fact. I'm making a factual statement. He made a point as well.
Let's listen to the Member of Parliament for Ifidiase, who addressed the press. The turnaround by the Members of Parliament not to support the other side of the House, as the minority on the vote of censure.
Only to state that we are back to the original position that we took. And that original position is to say that the Minister of Finance will not be the one who must read the budget and must not be the one who will do the appropriation. We are here this morning to say that this is going to be very soon for you to see the position of us. And we are going to be positively defiant on that posture until that action is taken. However, we are not going to support the cause of the NDC in the chamber this morning. The cause of the NDC is premised on falsehood, propaganda, and reasons that are not justifiable. Their position might look like ours, but it's not the same. You will not.
Dr. Maliba, Lawyer Maliba, yes. Their position will look like ours, but it's not the same. But the objective is to get the finance minister out. What do you make of the position of the majority in this instance?
So good morning to your viewers. I want to ask a question, and the question is, Does the president watch some of these things? Has he watched his members of parliament say the things that they are saying? Has he watched them? I'm asking this question because the president is a stubborn old man, very stubborn old man. Why?
Why do you say that?
You don't need any research to come to a conclusion that majority of Ghanaians want the finance minister out. And you have a president who prefers retaining the finance minister at the expense of the economy. So you see how stubborn he is? His own people. You play the tape. Said they didn't want the man. And so I don't know what covenant the president and Ken Ofori Atta entered into. I don't know whether it's a blood covenant, such that if he removes Ofori Atta, he will die, or it's Ofori Atta who will die. I don't know. I just don't know. What's the problem with this president?
You are making assumptions.
In fact, if I had a way, okay, it's too early in the morning. So, what is wrong with our president? If this country were his company, and the workers in that company tell him that the finance director is mismanaging affairs, won't he listen to them? Or is it because it is Ghana and he doesn't care about what happens to Ghanaians? So the president is the cause of all this. Now, to the majority in parliament, they seem to be prevaricating. On one hand, you say you want the finance minister out, you go and meet the Don Papa, who is the president, he talks to you, you recoil. Then, yesterday again, that they are going back to their original position. They are prevaricating. But somehow, in their prevarication, you can see through one thing, which is common to the minority, that they also want the finance minister out. Then the question now is, you are using political pressure. That's what they are using. The majority are using what is called political pressure. The minority are using constitutional pressure. But the end result is that they both want the finance minister out. Your political pressure did not yield immediate results. But you had opportunity yesterday to align with the constitutional pressure, which will still yield the same results.
How would you describe their turnaround?
And that's why I've said they are prevaricating. Their turnaround, for me, is purely political. They don't want to be seen joining the NDC to engage in the censure of the minister.
So they are scoring political points.
Exactly. For them, anything coming from the NDC should be taken with a pinch of salt. But this time around, the NDC is on the side of the people of this country. So their conduct would eventually alienate them from the good people of this country. And I'm talking to the majority. Because the mood of the country is aligned to the minority. And if you have opportunity to join the minority to bring about the coup de grace, and now you decide to prevaricate and drag your feet, you'll be alienated.
Within the week, did you hear the finance minister say that, well, he's also going through all the difficulties. He knows the feelings Ghanaians are having, and we are all in this together. And he's ready to make sure that where he took Ghana from, he takes us back there, despite the state that we find the economy.
Indeed. I had a finance minister.
You should be assured.
And at that point, I told somebody who was close to me that he can even hemorrhage. He can hemorrhage. Compare to what the people of this country are facing. He's having aches, headaches. People have lost their lives. The quorum I came and told you here, it was 67. 107 cities, 104 cities now.
The quarter?
The quorum for malaria. The quorum I came here crying that it had gone to 45, it had gone to 65. It's now 107. Have we quantified the number of people who are dying because of the critical situation in which we find ourselves? People who cannot afford medicines. And that is just for malaria. How about those with cancers? How are they going to bear that? So, after the finance minister, look, hasn't he also benefited from, why didn't he tell Ghanaians that the aches and the pains and the enjoyment, why didn't he hide the enjoyment? Because this is a man who has benefited from borrowing. And so, look, I don't want to hear the finance minister talk that way. He doesn't talk finance.
What does he talk about?
Those people, motivational speaker. He behaves like he's a motivational speaker. Oh, we can do it. We have done it before. We are a proud nation. That is not what will rescue this country. See, prices each day. I am told this morning that even though crude prices are coming down on the international market, next week, our prices at the pumps will go up by 1 cedi or 2 cedis.
Because of the forex losses. It's understandable.
So, is it not about the management of the economy? If your city is the worst performer in the country, so who would have to go? Is it the Black Star coach who must be sacked because the city is not doing well? Or it is the educational secondary school headmaster who must be sacked? It is traceable to him. It's poor management. That's why your city is the worst. And if you have a president who will not listen to this simple call, why? Hasn't the man recouped whatever investment he did on you to become president?
But
hasn't he?
That again is an assumption that...
Hasn't he? Hasn't he recouped?
Did you speak to the president?
Hasn't he recouped? Look, this man was virtually feeding the president when he was in opposition.
You are saying that he was his bankroller?
He was his bankroller.
Who told you that?
Why? Hasn't the president said time with a number that when they were in opposition and this man was financing him, where were the people? Hasn't he said? The president said that when they were calling him. So I think that apart from the president behaving the way he's behaving, as if there's a blood covenant between he and Ofori Atta, I also think that the majority, their conduct is eventually alienating them from the good people of this country.
Mr. Jatwa, you listened to many analysts, and the indications were that we should have sent a signal to the Bretton Woods institutions and the markets, the international market, long ago. The president's reluctance to take the hard decisions on the one managing the affairs of the economy, what then is it sending out there consistently about whether he wants to take the hard decisions? And then the position of the majority, how does it reflect on the citizens themselves in terms of the perception they have about those representing them in Parliament?
Good morning to our viewers. Good morning to my fellow friends and panelists. Roland, I don't understand why we are still dangling a carrot in front of Ofori Atta. I don't understand it. It really doesn't make sense to me.
Because you are saying he should go?
He should have gone ages ago. Should have gone ages ago. The economy is not data bank. The economy is not the MPP party. The economy is Ghana. Economy is Ghana. And I share with Abraham when he says the president is being stubborn. What is it? Tell me what it is. That one man, we are having to run parliament through a whole heap of processes. The country does not want him. And see, this is what I don't understand. Who Who voted the president into power?
The Ghanaian people.
Who selected or nominated the finance minister?
The president.
Who is the president responsible to?
The Ghanaian people.
So, isn't it the Ghanaian people you should be talking to?
Yeah, because now we have the amalgamation of the two.
Yes.
Both sides of the house.
Shouldn't,
saying their constituents are.
The president, shouldn't he be talking to the Ghanaian people?
How then
The Ghanaian people are
how
saying...
then would you describe the president's posture then?
Maybe it's nepotism. Maybe it's nepotism. Because it doesn't make sense to me. And Kamal, let me correct you. You said what do you call it? The cathedral is National Cathedral. Is it in the MPP manifesto? Is it in the MPP manifesto?
If it's not in the manifesto,
I said, is it in there?
It's not in there.
It is not a national cathedral.
Is it everything that
When
government
you were
does?
talking-
It's a
when you were
rhetoric. It's a
talking-
rhetoric.
when you were
It's a
talking-
rhetoric.
Is that what to find out?
In rhetorical questions, you don't.
okay.
You don't. You know that.
He didn't indicate it was rhetoric.
Please
He said,
go ahead,
"Come on,
go
let
ahead,
me
Mr.
ask you."
Jantua.
He didn't say it was a rhetorical question.
But must he say that before you know it's a rhetorical?
But he mentioned my name and said, "Come on, let me ask you a question."
I didn't ask you. I said what you said.
It's a rhetoric. I think
Okay.
we all
Yes,
do understand.
yes,
Thank you.
Yes. When the president was even giving his first nation address when he was sworn in, did he talk about the cathedral? There, at that time, did he tell us, the good Lord has answered my prayer. I'm now president of Ghana.
So what are you saying? We've undertaken frivolous expenditures?
I'm saying that
Supervised by the
I'm
finance
saying that
minister?
he cannot call it a national cathedral. The people have not been part and parcel of that decision. If he really wanted a national cathedral, he should have done it in a different way. Look at the amount of money we have wasted in pulling down all those buildings. Pulling down all those buildings. Isn't it bare land now? Has anything happened to it today?
The projects are stalled.
Was that priority? Was that priority? Was that priority? Tell me whether it was priority or not. Now, maybe Parliament too is complicit in the challenges and the things that, especially on the loan side, that the Censure Of Ofori Atta has indulged in.
You mean both sides of the house?
Yeah, both sides of the house. Doesn't it come to Parliament for them to vote on it? Don't they ratify it? And when they ratify it, they give him the go-ahead to take the loans. Wasn't the Parliament who did it? Or he did it on himself? He just got up and said, I'm going to take
So
X
you're
loan.
saying the Parliament should have been a bit harder and harsher on him?
I'm saying that they have... I'm saying
in
that
approval of some of these expenditures?
I'm saying they have a responsibility. They have something to answer to the people of Ghana. And yes, they should have been harder when the loans were coming and going. They should have been harder on the finance minister. Look, the stabilization fund has been capped. Stabilization fund was supposed to be at 500 million. It's been capped. Both parties, NDC, MPP, kept cutting. Now it's 100 million. If we fall into deep crisis, there's no buffer. There's no buffer. And PIAC has said today in their semi-annual report, something should be done about it. Something should be done about the powers of the finance minister. And I don't understand why the president does not want to look at some of the things the people of this country, anywhere you go in this country, I was saying, what? The complaints, he must go, he must go, he must go, he must go. When a country that we tend to associate ourselves with and our direct benefactors in some way, when their finance minister brought out a budget and it caused mayhem on the markets, what happened to him? Did they put a committee together to listen to what they had to say?
away.
Straight away. Straight away. And yes, the moment Censure Of Ofori Atta is fired, you see what will happen. Because I believe that the international investors do not have confidence in him.
Why do you think the president is still keeping him there?
I said nepotism. That's the only thing I can say. And that's the only thing I can say. I don't see what reason. Has the president given us a tangible reason apart from the IMF negotiations?
Yes.
And this is a man who
And then
didn't,
the budget as
the
well.
man even didn't believe in the IMF. So he does the budget, he goes for the negotiation, and remember, the president hasn't said he will sack him. He hasn't said he will sack him. He goes for negotiation, he does all this, he comes. You take him, let's say the president then decides to do away with him. Who is now going to take the rap for what Ken Ofori Atta has put down? Who? If it doesn't go right.
The new appointee.
The new appointee. Will that be fair on the new appointee? Will that be fair on the new appointee? Come on. Look, we're taking the people for granted, unfortunately. They are taking the people for granted. And people of Ghana, watch. Watch. Next election, anybody who wins executive, give the opposition maximum power in parliament and not this balance. Maximum power in parliament so that there can be effective checks and balances. Because where we stand now, the people are caught in between. And who's suffering? When the S hit the fan, who is suffering? Hasn't it splattered all over all of us? Hasn't it? Tell me, those in power today, how many of them buy fuel? Maybe the president should have said, from this point on, because the challenges we are going to, every minister, everybody buy your own fuel.
We all buy fuel.
I said, are you a minister?
I'm not a minister, but
So
everybody buys fuel.
you're not part of it.
Very good.
You're not part of it.
Everybody buys fuel.
Yeah, I said you're not part of it. You are not part of it.
I'm sure he gets gold coupons.
Well, maybe he gets gold coupons. The ministers, the what do you call it? The CEOs, political appointees, do they buy fuel? Do they buy fuel? Do they really understand what the ordinary man is going through? Or it's just rhetoric? Because the ordinary man is going through hell. Look, yesterday, small rain, how many minutes? All the roads were flooded. All the roads were flooded. I came from the N1, all through Jolu, right up to Roman.
There was gridlock.
It was
actually.
gridlock.
And then
at 9 o'clock, there was a tail of
in
traffic.
the western part of Accra.
Yes,
too.
there was tail of traffic from Roman Ridge right up to West Legon, 9 p.m.
And that one was caused by Akufo-Addo.
I'm not saying it's caused by Akufo-Addo. You are responsible for the drainage. You're responsible for the roads. That is your. I'm not saying it's Akufo-Addo. I'm talking about the party.
But that's true.
It's true.
What's
It's
the
true.
housing ministry
What's the
should be
housing
up and
ministry
doing?
should be up and doing?
Look at it.
Should be
It
up
is
and
only
doing.
under Akufo-Addo
Look,
we have Western
look.
Housing Ministry.
Whatever the case is, you are
Is that what
empowered
you're saying?
to.
Intel Justice, you
you are
told us
empowered
everything
to.
was
Advanced countries, go and see the hurricane and all that.
We are talking
But
about
you just
Ghana.
made a-
We are talking
when you said
about
Ghana,
Why
Ghana.
is it that every time when you talk, you put up
No,
these
no, no.
defenses?
What
It's
is
not
fair?
fair.
I am supposed to.
Is this fair?
You don't. A force measure.
Is this fair? Is this fair? Is this fair?
It's not fair.
Is this fair?
It's not fair.
You
But it's
agree
not
it's
caused by
not fair,
Akufo-Addo.
but you are
whose
defending
But it's not caused by Akufo-Addo.
Whose
I'm
You
not
agree
defending.
it's not
responsibility
fair,
is
but you are
Imagine being
defending.
created here
Is
is
this-
government.
No,
Force measure
no,
is government.
that is not what I'm
Rula.
saying. Whose responsibility is to
And the
sort
policy
this out?
direction is supposed to be coming from the presidency
Exactly,
through cabinet
exactly.
and then release of
Look what-
funding and making sure that you manage the finances
Please,
for
look at
proper
that.
drainage and construction to be done.
The best drainage and best whatever constructed in advanced countries, yet they see more.
Forget
than
the
floods
advanced
more than
countries.
this.
We are talking
So don't
about
even
Ghana.
tell me
Some
the government-
of the
doesn't it that?
comparisons that you
He just
keep
sat there and
making.
made comparison.
Listen,
He didn't
that's
say
some
this
of the
finance minister was
comparisons you
successful.
keep
The
just-
advanced countries, they have social welfare
Some
where
of
they
these discussions
support,
is
they support their citizens. What has Germany done? Germany today has put in 8 euro for transport. Everybody has a coupon. 8 euro for transport everywhere. What are you doing to cushion the Ghanaian? Today, listen to some people. Yesterday, somebody slept on the streets because he couldn't get home. The trotro terminals, they are deserted.
Well, the agri minister says that they are going to set up market centers at the ministry. We'll even go there very soon.
Should it be at the ministry?
Well,
Should it be at the ministry?
He has PhD.
Is that where it is supposed to be?
He has
Let's
PhD.
try as much as possible
He has
to
PhD.
sort the problems that Ghanaians are facing. We are not.
You see, the
Okay,
president,
so-
Now, before you come in, apart from what you say about the president, there's a certain now path that it looks like Ghanaians want the members of parliament and the president to undertake. How do we force the president to toe that path?
Oh, Roland, before he comes in, do you know that Apia Kubi, yesterday, Andy, on one of the Joy channels, has indicated that they are going back to the original plan.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Whatever business, they won't have any business with it. So if they're in this committee that the speaker has
he's
announced,
lost confidence, right?
You see, the president must know that he's in the twilight of his second term. He's almost
giving him
that,
time
that,
again.
that is his.
And after that, I'll come to you.
That this second term, at the tail end, he's almost gradually phasing out. He must understand that he needs to go out in a way that he can still hold high his reputation. This is advice to him. I'm younger than him, but this is advice to him. You see, if you have a president who simply is insensitive, look at the issue of these our school children. Teachers saying they will just
because of
one man,
the appointment of the
one
director.
man, and you have a full president.
You're saying what? The
Sitting
president
down.
is not a listening president.
Sitting down and not acting. Cannot even say that, okay, my brother, step aside and let me get somebody and these children will go to school. If you have a president who is not empathetic, these are the kind of things you have. But let's constantly, you ask a question, let's constantly drum home. My only worry is those pastors who used to criticize Mahama and today are behaving like communication directors of the MPP, trying to rather explain away what the president means when he says things. Professor Mante, if we had all those people coming on board and then we putting pressure on this president, he will crumble. There's no way that he won't crumble. But when he hears those voices, he thinks that he's on the right path. But can't he see that he is driving us into a ditch? Look at this. How do you go and make a promise to God when we cannot verify that whether it is actually God or Nyame Kankan or whatever you did? And then you come and say that we should fund.
Well, you did hear his quote, the battle is a lot.
We should fund that the building. Is that how democracy works? That the president will sit down, sleep, get up, tell all of us that he has spoken to God and promised God that he's going to build a cathedral to you, and all of us will agree that continue to start building. Is that how a democracy is run? Why didn't you subject this to parliamentary discussions and all those things so that the country will own it? And this was a man who was touted as somebody who had the answers to our problems. We were told that they started preparing him for president 40 years ago. You remember those things? And look at that, this same man who has brought us to our knees. And he is not even apologetic, this president.
Well, he's giving a reprieve to the finance minister, but it looks like the majority of Ghanaians wants the finance minister out. The only hurdle is that your MPs are reluctant.
It looks like the majority of Ghanaians wants what?
It looks like.
It looks like.
It looks like.
Oh, you want me to speak to it looks like? That's interesting.
It looks like it.
It looks like it.
Yes, because your MPs
You are not saying it for a fact. You are saying it looks like it.
I'm saying this for a
Highly
fact.
speculative.
No, it's not speculative.
It is.
We have the minority, we have the majority
Yes.
saying that their constituents are telling them, and their constituents are voters who are Ghanaians.
Yeah.
Also, within those constituencies are ordinary Ghanaians.
Roland.
Unless you want to say the constituency that you say you represent. Which one is that?
I don't represent
Nanton.
an MP.
No, I'm not saying that.
He wants to.
When
I
you
come
can- you
from
men-
my constituency.
Yes.
It's Nanton.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Unless you are saying the people of Nanton, you can look in their face today and indicate that
Roland.
they are not in agreement with the president,
Roland,
or are in agreement
I
with the
am
president.
privileged this morning, and just as I've always been privileged to sit with very learned people, two strong lawyers on the show, and I so much admire them. They know that, especially Lawyer Jantua. So much admire him. His depth of knowledge when it comes to, the legal environment, his depth of knowledge when it comes to social environment, economic environment is excellent.
What points are you making?
I'm making a good point. I am making a point here to indicate that a state, and for that matter, a nation, is run on the laws that you have actually carved for yourselves.
Now, what you're talking the constitution?
Oh, no, I'm not talking the constitution. Every single law, whether organic law or written laws or constitution, all is part of it. This country is run with laws and by laws. And this country, you don't just wake up, then go and pick a frivolous matter and then throw it out there and say, oh, everybody follow it. The president is useless. The president is not. We don't run a country like that. We are not a banana republic. We are not an acceptable society. And I'm
To
that's
the
why
point that
I
the
am
president's
happy.
own members of parliament representing his party have raised issues that those who voted for them, those who even didn't vote for them, those who occupy those constituencies that they represent are saying that his finance minister is not good enough.
The very
it's
law,
reflecting in the
I am
inflationary
saying that
trends.
the very laws I am speaking to also allows them, the president's own ministers or MPs or whatever, to make a demand or to make an appeal. And I had addressed that sufficiently earlier on in my submission.
So your point is
I am
what?
saying, if in as much as we have laws running this country, one cannot just sit down and assume to say that, look, for example, look at what my brother Amalba said, that teachers' bodies have gone on strike.
Well, I think he was relating to how empathetic or non-empathetic the president is.
With all respect.
Please go ahead.
That the president has done an appointment or made an appointment. Union of teachers have actually come out to say that we are on strike because you've made an appointment. And the reason why we are actually embarking on strike is that that person has not taught before or properly taught before as we think. Gave other reasons as it were. The president, in his wisdom, okay, who is the appointing authority and mandated by the laws of this country to appoint, says that, look, there has been a deputy director of education in charge of tertiary education at that particular same entity. I have relieved of the director, and I want him to act in his stead pending the time. Then somebody comes to sit down and say that the president is not empathetic. The president doesn't empathize with the people because he has made an appointment and somebody disagrees with the president. The president should come and say, oh, no, he said the president could have asked the man to step aside.
Yes.
Just because people
that's
are
the intervention.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes. You don't think so?
So you mean the president of... So, Roland, we sit here and Media General. At the end of the day, whoever is the board chair of Media General or whoever is supposed to be the MD says that, look, I believe in the competence of Roland. Roland should act in this man's stead. Then, of course, some group of people here just wake up in the morning and then give reasons and say, look, at the end of the day, we disagree with you.
If
so
the board chair is listening to the membership of the company, and then you should take a decision.
Decisions, you see, acting decisions or appointing decisions. Indeed, I'm not saying that the president has all the wisdom in this world. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that let us also grant him that. The man who he has appointed works in that same entity. Not because he's coming from somewhere. That's done.
The main issue is that the president is not listening to the ordinary Ghanaian.
I disagree strongly with you on that position. The president, of course, like I said, that is why I'm saying that we have a process of doing things, or we have processes of doing things in this country. You don't just wake up and then when you get your banku and okra stew and eat and then come and sit down and say whatever you want to say. That's not what it's saying.
And you trivialize the issue to say that they've eaten banku and okra and then they raise such issues.
I am speaking in
general. And your
I'm
MPs
not
also ate banku and okra and came to stand up to do a press conference.
I am referring to comments that some of us make on platforms. I'm not referring to those MPs. Don't pitch me against them, Roland. But what I'm saying is, don't pitch me against them. But I'm saying that, listen, we have ways of doing things in this country, Roland. And once we have ways of doing things in this country, and properly so, nobody is actually gagging anyone from speaking or from coming, from criticizing constructively. However, when you are going to criticize, also ensure that the grounds on which you are criticizing are not frivolous. And I'm saying, one comes to sit down for in my view, I cited the National Cathedral matter when somebody has to go and say it's President Cathedral.
Is it a good project in your estimation?
Why? 17% of Ghanaians in this country, according to statistics, are Muslims. Yes. We have a national mosque dedicated to Muslims.
By Turkish government.
You know how it started? Rollins started it.
And so?
I am telling you, the Kanda Mosque, Rollins gave the land, worked it out for national mosque to be built. Rollins as president. Then afterwards, wait a minute, please. 17% of that. Now somebody is telling me if the statistics is something we have to go by, the rest of the people who are Christians don't deserve a national cathedral. That's exactly what I say.
And Christians made by the president.
I am saying that
the Christian community told you.
Rollins was not a watchman; he was a president. He wasn't a security man sitting somewhere. He was a president as well. But Rollins saw the need to say that
demolished.
My brother, I'm saying Rollins saw the need to say that Muslims need a national cathedral, a national mosque. Today, as we speak, we of course sought for some support outside. They came in. The government of the day also gave us land and supported in a way, and we have a national mosque there. If there's a national cathedral, what is wrong with that?
Why are you trying to divert
Christians
the true facts of the case are that we have drawn within the public coffers or pairs over 200 million Ghana cedis towards a cathedral project that the president said he had a covenant with his God. if he won the election. He won the election back in 2016. And you are here justifying that position where consistently where there's a communication out there that indicates that it's supposed to be a private project.
Roland, if you agree with me.
Undertaken with state facilitation. In which we've had extensive millions of Ghana cedis or dollars, if you do the conversion, that have been put into that project to the extent that even sometimes members of parliament are not told about some of these expenditures that are made by the finance minister.
Roland.
And that is why this has been cited.
I have listened to you very well in the studio, but I'm saying, did the president just sleep, wake up in the morning, got some workers to go there, and then say, build a cathedral?
Whose idea was it?
No. It is an idea he mooted, actually. And having mooted that idea...
So now you agree to specify...
I'm saying that, of course, why? Every idea, every infrastructure, or everything that we do emanates from a particular idea or a concept. And I'm saying he mooted this idea. Having mooted the idea as a statesman or as the president of the Republic of Ghana,
over 200
what
million
he did was that
Ghana city has been spent.
Let's take it.
The foundation has not even taken off.
I'm saying what he did was, I've listened to you well. What he did was that he ensured that as part of his fiscal policy, before even it starts, it was announced in Parliament. And what do? Take chapter 13 of the Constitution of Ghana. You cannot just get up, go and dip your hands into the consolidated fund without recourse to the appropriation bill that you have had. And question I want to ask, did the finance minister mention about or come to Parliament to mention this national cathedral or not?
He did mention.
Thank you very much. So I'm saying if it has been done and at the end of the day some passage or agreement was reached in Parliament, what was the beef?
So you make a mention, no specific amounts are made, and we know that per the Financial Management Act, if you want to make expenditures or allocations exceeding certain amount, you have to go to Parliament.
That is interesting, and that is why I'm saying that yes.
And he didn't go to Parliament.
Well,
and it's the reason why the majority, the minority, are citing some of the instances or the financial transactions that he's under, the decisions he's made that has led to loss of money to the state.
That is the allegation emanating from whoever says that this expenditure has been done.
Come on, I'm surprised that you are defending
And I am saying that yes, that is why. Why the work of the committee?
Usually not.
No, sorry. What is the work of the committee? The committee is supposed to do a what? A hearing. And then arrive at the conclusion and give a report to the plenary. Is that not right? Then, of course, they will decide on whatever it is. I'm saying that all these things that have been raised, allegations that have been raised, they are going to look into it and then come out with a report. And the finance minister, will give the chance or the opportunity to respond to whatever that has been raised, and we'll get to a logical conclusion of it. Now, it doesn't lie with anyone to say that the President of the Republic of Ghana has done anything that is not with recourse to the laws of this country. That is what I'm saying, that the cathedral in question was mentioned in Parliament. They went through a process, then before it was started. So it's not like somebody just waking up and buying 2 bags of cement and going to build.
It's not only one side of members of Parliament. Yeah. We've had the other side of members of Parliament who constitute
the majority.
Exactly. Raising issues about the actions taken by his finance minister.
What were the issues? Are they in all force with the issues that the minority have raised? The issues that he raised, with all respect, let's be fair and factual to ourselves. Are they in all force?
That paraphrase is incompetent and needs to be said.
No, I'm saying that the issues that they have raised, are they in all force with what the minority has raised? We are being factual to ourselves. No, they are not. That is why when you play that video, Honorable Ayo indicated that, look, in as much as we have our position that the finance minister must go, whatever our demand is and our ground is, it's not in all force with what the minority has done. That's why we're not supporting the censure.
But some.
It's not similar. It's not same. He mentioned it.
Come out.
So I am saying that, look, it is a going concern. Let's see how it ends.
We're taking a break. We'll be right back. When we come back, we'll tell you how the Ministry of Food and Agriculture apparently has a nice policy of starting markets at the ministry's area. And it's all to make sure that, well, they control prices of foodstuff that are coming from the farm gates. Armstrong Gold Dalogbe, who has been nominated for the next GJ Awards, is on the ground. We'll tell you the latest update. Do stay on.